It's no unique thing to talk about all the issues with Halo right now. But today I don't want to talk about an issue that started with Infinite, its monetization, or any of the fucked up things that 343 is doing with the handling of that game. That's for another time. But today I want to talk about an issue around Halo's design that stems all the way back into the Bungie days. Specifically, today, I want to talk about dual wielding's place in the Halo sandbox and why it was never a problem, but the solution Halo still desperately needs. Now, if you've watched literally any of my videos, I'm sure there's an implication or a little nod to Halo Combat Evolved being, in my opinion, one of the best balanced sandboxes of all time, with every single weapon and enemy playing a very specific role that all feed into each other in a way that just feels so fulfilling to master. I don't talk about the future Halo games like 2 or 3 that often because I like to just gush over Halo 1. But if there's one thing that Halo 2 improved upon Halo 1, it's probably the dual wielding system. You see, at the very core of Halo Sandbox and its combat loop, there is the idea of shields and health, and weapons that correspondingly take down shields or take down health. Part of mastering Halo Combat Evolved was going through the different weapons, approaching an enemy, and cycling through different weapons to appropriately take down their health a certain way or their shields a certain way. And balancing out those kinetic and plasma weapons that took down health and shields was part of your success. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with this approach. Hell, one of the good things that Halo Infinite does is keep this up in some capacity. For example, using the disruptor to take down an enemy's shields, to then follow that up with the shotgun to shred apart their health, is true and authentic Halo. However, I feel that dual wielding amplifies this entire idea, because it allows you to wield both a plasma weapon for shields and a human weapon for health at the exact same time. It's a similar innovation to BioShock 2. And the way they allowed you to use a weapon and plasmid at the same time instead of having to manually switch to them, allowing you to use them both in tandem a lot more smoothly. In Halo, it's that same kind of feeling. I can go around with the SMG, which is a perfect evolution of Halo 1's assault rifle because the assault rifle never was a heavy hitter. It was just something that had a huge capacity and the ability to spray across a wide array of area. So turning it into the SMG felt really natural because you weren't really losing anything. It was still weak, it still had crazy capacity, and it still had that crazy spread. Now that you could carry it as a sidearm, being able to carry it alongside a plasma pistol, now you on the fly were constantly switching between plasma and kinetic, constantly thinking about shields and health, and you could make those decisions so much faster. But dual wielding was a lot more versatile than just this. It also served as a quick way to get out of a pinch. If all I had were 2 SMGs and an elite comes at me and charges me, I can just chew him down, shields, health and all, and, wipe him, but I have to go through all of my ammo. So it's not a good idea to dual wield 2 kinetic weapons, because as soon as I need to fight multiple enemies with shields, I'm going to get killed. However, in those small panicked moments where I just need to spray and empty the mags, it's a good strategy, and it's nice to have that option. Versatility also comes into play when, instead of going with the plasma pistol and SMG combo, if I want to focus more on a closer range tactic, I can use a plasma rifle and an SMG combo, where I just rush down an elite and I'm taking down his shields and health simultaneously. It's also great because while I'm reloading the SMG, if I still need to shoot at the enemy, I can use that plasma rifle since it's not dependent on ammo, and I just need to worry about it overheating. And then of course, the Needler. Don't get me started on how amazing it feels to dual wield a Needler. Just having this thing usually be a slower single enemy kill where you have to empty out the entire magazine in order to blow them up as kind of a quasi power weapon, having two of them at the same time allows you to get that result so much faster and apply it to multiple enemies if you're going at close range. And it's like that what I said about the SMGs before, about that quick get out of a pinch card, except on steroids with these needlers. And then finally, what makes dual wielding so great is the fact that you can switch out these weapons on the fly so easily. I don't have to, like in Combat Evolve, run around and switch out my assault rifle for a plasma rifle and then switch to whatever my secondary is. I can switch out both weapons at the same time on the fly as soon as I walk over an enemy weapon that I think would be really good combined with whatever I'm carrying. In the multiplayer, dual wielding also worked great because it took weapons that were otherwise really weak and gave players a chance to rush and find these different combinations or change them up on the fly to get certain advantages. Like if I'm playing a auto slayer match in Halo 2 and I have the plasma pistol and SMG or plasma rifle and SMG, I have a very distinct advantage over other players, and this adds a layer of strategy for them to have to use their grenades and SMG in tandem in order to win, or engage me at longer ranges with power weapons or other things. It's like a very clear indicator that, okay, I see this player that has these two weapons, this means I need to engage them from these ranges, this means I need to employ these strategies, and this means I can't play this certain way. It's brilliant because it's an immediate visual indicator of what your next step is supposed to be, and that's what Halo is all about. Those 30 seconds of fun, that gameplay loop of seeing the enemy, making your sandbox decisions, and coming out on top. This feature ended up getting removed by the time we got to Halo Reach. The reasoning was that these weapons were too weak, they were too difficult to balance within the rest of the sandbox, and they detracted from the overall sandbox purity. So this weapon, or this style of using weapons, these strategies, these combos, were kind of heralded as a weakness in the sandbox, saying that it detracted from everything else. But this is not the case, because the real issue with Halo Sandbox has been staring the developers in the face since Combat Evolved. Now again, if you've watched any of my videos talking about Halo Sandboxes, you know exactly what I'm going to bring up. The precision weapon meta. I don't want to go over reiterating things that I've talked about in entire videos before, so I'm just going to put it like this. With that core element of Halo Sandbox in mind, what seems like more Halo to you? Taking a combination of plasma and kinetic weapons and using them in tandem to get the advantage over your AI enemy or over an enemy Spartan, or using a single kinetic weapon and just shooting them repeatedly in the head, ignoring shields, health, everything to get those critical headshot damages. Let's take a look at each of these approaches. Do you see what I mean here? Halo is all about switching weapons on the fly to get the advantage. If you can just constantly rely on one weapon for every enemy in every situation, you have a problem. And it was a huge misstep on behalf of Bungie and 343 to not utilize dual wielding in the campaign and in the multiplayer. Because it adds those layers of strategy, it adds those layers of core Halo philosophy into the gameplay so naturally, in a way that just feels so right. In a perfect world, we would have seen these features expanded, but instead, we still have to struggle with the precision weapon meta. Anyways, what do you guys think about dual wielding? Do you want me to talk more about what I think, future Halo games after Halo 1 did better than Halo 1? Or do you want me to shut the fuck up and get right back to talking about Metal Gear? I know a lot of my new subscribers are probably confused as hell as soon as they see me talking about something that isn't Metal Gear related, but I do this sometimes. Anyways, this has been Pliskin, over and out.
This is Solid Snake. Hey, subscribe to Pliskin Boy. God damn it.
You heard him.